Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. My name is Jake, and I'm here with my co-hosts Shane, Soda City Flips, and Keith, Vintage Sport Flips. We decided to make this podcast because we know that reselling can be lonely. We wanted to invite you guys onto the island with us each week. We can kind of be your friends and coworkers. So, how did reselling go this week, Shane?
Oh man, absolutely amazing. The best week I've ever had. Best single 7 day total I've ever had
There you
since I
go.
started. So we talked about a little bit last week. Jake, I know you weren't here, but I talked about a golf club purchase I made for
Yeah.
$50. I've probably made $1,500 already off of that buy.
Nice.
But I had almost a $2,800 week. So that was,
Damn.
and I was gone. That's what's crazy. It started. So I left for the Kentucky Derby on Thursday morning, and I was not stressed that my store wasn't going to perform while I was gone because I didn't shut it down and I had enough drafts to keep it going. But I was still, kind of worried like, oh man, I'm not really going to be in there, every day like I usually am doing stuff. So we'll see how sales go. Holy cow, man. They just kept coming and coming and coming. And then I got home, had a $840 day. The next day was like a $700 day. Here's the crazy kicker though. The day after that, $18.
18.
Yeah. Yeah.
when I was like, well, put me, eBay, it will keep you humble, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get
So,
all excited.
So it sounds to me like you went to a yard sale, you got really fast sell through rate items, you listed them, and they immediately started selling.
Oh yeah, immediately.
It's almost like that high sell through rate stuff really works, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the
Nice.
perfect time of year with spring there, right? It
Yeah.
can't be
I
the
Yeah.
better
And
time.
I preach to everybody. Golf clubs will sell year round, all
Yeah.
year, because there's places like the South, and then California, Southern California, Arizona, places that it stays pretty decent temperature wise. Most of the year, people are always playing golf. But now that it's warming up everywhere around the country, golf club sales are picking up tremendously.
Yeah.
Nice.
I in my last video I talked about sell through rate a little bit as always, and someone posted sell through rate isn't always the best. Gotta get the slow stuff too. I just sold a book that I listed in 2015. And the comments are like, bro, you're flexing about a book that took 10 years to sell. Because it's like, he didn't say how much it sold for. I'm assuming $15 plus shipping, at a high end. And it's like $15 plus shipping 10 years ago is significantly more money 10 years ago than it was today. Like that has depreciated with inflation and stuff. And it's like you wasted 10 years
Yeah.
to make maybe $1.25 to $2.50 on that book if it sold for $15. Because
Yeah.
the dollar is not worth what it was. It's deflated over the inflation has just destroyed that sell. So it's like, bro, if you would have got that $15 in a week, that would have been awesome. But because it took
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
days, it's like, geez Louise.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing. So my thinking on it, as far as how much he got for it, any book that's worth a ton of money has a collector base. It would have sold the first year,
For sure.
within a few months of selling it. So the fact that he had it for 10 years, he basically had a copy of, like, I don't know, Nicholas Sparks' The Notebook or something, So no, after it originally came out that first year, nobody wants to read that anymore. So like, that's the kind of book it was. It had to be.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. And like, I'm not completely trashing on volume sellers and long tail item sellers, but your life is so much better when you're buying $50 golf clubs and making $1,500 in 2 days. you know?
Yeah, I don't have the space to be storing 10-year items. You know what I mean?
Oof,
I
10
probably
years.
have some 10-year items on the shelf behind me, to be honest. So I'm a bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes the antique stuff is a long tail. I love quick selling stuff, and I did buy a remote at a yard sale on Saturday, Jake. So
There
didn't
you
sell
go.
yet, but it's listed. So we'll see. Um, my sales or more like Shane's like $18 a day recently. They're churning in on eBay, but they're low dollar sales.
Mm-hmm.
But I killed it on some live streams. I did a few pennant shows, one on Dibbed It, one on Dibbed It cards, and one on Whatnot. The Whatnot did like $800 in
Oh,
pennants.
nice.
So
Wow,
yeah, so the live streams have been good for me.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm doing right after this, not right after, but at 4 o'clock tonight on Thursday, I'm doing a reseller lot show on First Class Treasures because
Oh, cool.
my little lots have been doing really well. I had a $2,100 show the other day because I sold a ton of sunglasses and other stuff like that and watches. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
hoping for another $2,100 sale today. That'd be sick.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Shirley or Bryce on District. She's on First Class Treasures. She did a show. She sold a ton of vintage Pokemon marbles, and I think she did $3,200 in that show.
Dang.
It was insane.
Holy cow.
I think I've
Yeah,
ever
she
seen a
did.
Pokemon marble.
And she
Yeah, I
sold
don't even-
I think one of you guys talked about this last week on the podcast, the Motu Skeletor figure, or was that a different podcast?
Might have been a different one.
Oh, well,
Because
Yeah,
I
someone
don't think
remember it.
I don't think we talked about it.
Oh no, I think it was Hard Rock Resell was talking on First Class Treasures that he
Okay.
saw one on Facebook, but he wasn't able to snag it. Shirley sold one of those. It's like a skeleton box that has a ton of figures in it. She sold that in the show. She was selling really, really good stuff.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, it's not low quality stuff over there for sure. It's definitely a quality. It's getting more and more quality. I feel like in the beginning, people were maybe a little trepidatious about running quality stuff, but those trepidations are gone. I feel like everywhere in District.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just learn, like, if you try to sell $3 items, you're gonna make maybe $18 in a show.
Yeah.
But if you try to sell 25, $20 to $80 items that on eBay or Etsy, you're gonna make several $100s every time. So
Yeah.
I have a monetary goal every time I go live, no matter where I'm live at. I at least want to bring in $200. If I bring in $200, I'm pretty happy. And for the most part, it's anywhere between there and like 600
Yeah.
per show,
That's good.
depending on what I'm running. So I'm super thrilled about it. But I got some pretty cool stuff here recently with the yard sales and all that I hit before I left for the Derby. That same day that I went and found those golf clubs, I hit up 2 estate sales. So I've been picking up quite a bit of stuff. Obviously, I was gone for 4 days. So, I'm just kind of getting back in the swing of things. Monday, all I did was ship items. Holy cow. Like I said, I had a great 7 days. So when I got home, I had 36 packages that sold, or items that sold while I was gone. And then the stuff that sold Sunday evening, I had to package as well. So Monday was super busy. And then the weather's been crappy, but finally today I was soaking wet, popping in from thrift store to thrift store. But I found something kind of cool I want to show you guys. Now, there's a $15 price tag on this. I had no idea, should I get it or not. I Google imaged it. Google Images saying this is Murano glass. If it's legit, it's about $1,000 piece. I paid $15 for it for the education, if nothing else. I sent it to some glass people that I know, Alicia, the ink picker, being the main one. She said if it's Murano, it's a great pickup. If it's not, it's kind of But this is what it is. This Denver Broncos colored. I know that probably looks red to you guys, but it's orange.
Okay.
I don't know if it's legit. I got to do some research and try to figure out how to determine if it's legit or not. But
that thing's huge.
yeah, for $15, it's worth the education to me.
Oh yeah.
So,
I think I would reach out to
try to sell it for 50 or 60 maybe.
Yeah, just to decorate them. It's awesome. But I would reach out to Tim over the years. You feel like he's like the glass guru that I know, but I'm sure there's a lot of experts out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Tim might still be mad at me. Those guys, Kevin, Mike, and Rod are the only ones that kind of speak to me still. So we'll see. But maybe I'll reach out to them. Hopefully that all that water's under the bridge, and
yeah. I didn't mean to bring that up. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I hope we're all cool.
Yeah, seems like it's good.
So while I was thrifting today, Jake, I met a viewer. His name's Chris, so shout out Chris, and he found me through you. So thank you, Jake.
Cool. I'm also wearing the Soda City Flips hat today. So.
There you go.
So yeah, just write a check, and I'll send you my address, and it'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I got it somewhere. I've sent you packages before.
I set up at a paper show, and I was interviewed by another YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the $1 Million Peddlers. But
no, you told me about them.
Yeah, they're a great channel, but they're more like they deal in paper, like antique paper. But when I was talking to him, he had a very interesting strategy that he uses for eBay, which I never knew anyone do this before, and I started to do it this week. But for like those rare items, like some of the stuff Shane and Jake that you bought for me on First Class Treasures, like
Mm-hmm.
the aviation piece, Shane.
Yeah.
Like what he would do with that is he would start it at an auction at whatever buy it now price you came up with, say like $399.99. He would start it at an auction 7 days, let it run as an auction first, in case there was two bidders out there that wanted it, right? Like
Okay.
if you ever get that buy it now, you pop up and it sells immediately. Like I think I underpriced that thing,
Yep.
and you're protecting yourself against that by like letting it run a week. If it doesn't get bids, you just list it as a buy it now the week after. And I did it 4 times so far. 3 times didn't sell, and now it's a buy it now. But the 4th time I think has a shot to get some bids. So we'll see.
Someone was talking
Oh,
about that.
yeah.
Someone was talking about what you were just talking about.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, Keith told me to just run it as a buy it now."
Oh, I think Rod. I talked to Rod
the
about it.
price. Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was Rod. Oh yeah, I was on Cat the Nurse Flipper's show the other day with her and Rod, and he was
Yeah.
talking about that. He's like, "Yeah, no, my friend Keith." He said, with items that you just don't really know the value, but you can kind of make it out, just put it as an auction at the buy it now price, and
Yep.
it might go up a few $100s. Who knows? So
Yeah, you hate to.
good
Yeah, I
strategy.
like that
You're
idea.
giving more people a shot at it too, right? If there's like a couple diehards out there that want it, they might butt heads over it, and then it
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
those
I like
if it's those one-offs or there's only a few listed every year, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the piece that I listed this week that way, it's a scorebook from 1907, but this team played like Negro League teams. They played the New York Giants with Christy Mathewson. So they played like all kind of teams. So it's hard to price that. So I put it up for, it's not cheap. I have it up for like $900, but we'll see if it goes any higher. Might not sell it all. We shall see. Yeah.
That sounds cool though, like a cool piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So what's been kind of going on outside of reselling for you guys? I know you just got back from the Kentucky Derby. Sure that
Yeah, and if you guys don't mind, I just did this in my recent video. I'm gonna do it here. Our group, it's a guys trip we do every year. Our
Mhm.
group was started about 70 years ago. 5 brothers, their dad used to take them to the Derby. They're all in their 80s now. So you can imagine all their friends and them are dying off. As sad as that is,
Yeah.
we lose members every year. This year while we were there, one of those 5 brothers, there was only 2 of them there. One of them had to leave early and get rushed to the emergency room.
Oh.
So like we're trying to grow the group. So there used to be a group of about 40, and we had 7 people this year, and one of them had to get rushed home. So I'm throwing this out there for everybody. If you guys are interested in joining the Kentucky Derby trip every year, hit me up, Soda City Flips, on any social media platform, and let's talk about it. We stay at the Southern Indiana Caesars Hotel and Casino, and it's about a 20-minute drive to Churchill Downs from there. And we just have a blast all weekend. We play golf on Fridays. Some of us go to the Oaks. So yeah, pretty cool. And we want to keep the tradition going because these guys, they've been going for 70 years. We don't want
That's
it to
wild.
die with them. So we want to carry that tradition on. So
That's
we're
very
reaching
cool.
out to people, friends and family, and the YouTube audience, if you will, and seeing who's interested and try to keep it going.
Yeah, I'm up for it next year. I'll have to plan for it, talk to Andy, see if he's into it. But I mean, I've never been there. Be an experience.
It's a lot of fun, man. It really is.
I don't think I keep up with Shane on the mint julep front or any of that, but I'll still have fun.
I actually took it kind of easy this year.
Oh yeah.
Thursday night I did not take it easy, but that was at the casino. But at the actual Derby, I think I only had 3 all day.
Not bad.
Yeah. So
Well, I might be kind of losing my my partner in crime in the eBay business. My wife just started her training business where she, is a personal trainer and coach for people at the gym.
good
And
for her.
she just keeps getting clients, man. Just like
Oh, that's awesome.
she starts training. So she started training my mom and her mom for free. And then they just post on Instagram and talk to their friends. And then it just keeps leading to another lady who wants to work out with her and another and another. And she like feels bad, but I'm like, no, honey, if you can only do 5 hours of eBay a week, and if you have to drop off completely eventually, like that's fine because she's doing really, really good. And she's
Oh,
really
that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
It
exciting.
doesn't hurt to have that D1 athlete title, but
Yep.
helping push you out there too. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
she's already
impressive in
training.
itself, you know.
She's training on average 3 people every morning right now, and she has online coaching and she like chats with people and stuff. She's killing it.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah,
for
it's
her, man.
impressive.
Yeah, it's really dope.
So yeah, that'll throw a wrench into your process, but I'm sure you can recover from that, right?
Yeah, so my mother-in-law, her mom comes over and works
Oh,
like three
that's cool.
times a week, so we can just get her trained up more to do what
Yeah.
Brandon does.
My
Keith,
wife
how
might go
about
back to work a little bit. Go, Jen.
that's what I was about to say. How about Mrs.
Yeah.
Flips? Because I love seeing the shorts you make with her.
Yeah, they're funny.
She makes me laugh every single video. But you gonna hire her full time for her, or what's your plan?
Well, she does a lot. She photographs a lot of pennants. Like she ships all my pennants pretty much. Like I'll pull them and she packs them up and ships them out. So, but she's actually looking to go back to work full time, and maybe in the next year because when my son's in college, just to help the college tuition bills, and then maybe for
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, and then back. So that'll change things for me as far as like the draft. My draft bank is always at like 100 because she's always churning in pennant listings. So I'll have to use every second of downtime to keep that draft bank going. But yeah,
That's something I wish I was better at, is keeping a draft bank going. Because like when like before the Derby, I knew I was going to be gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then all day traveling back on Sunday. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to list. So I need to have a draft bank. So that week prior, I was grinding listings just to make sure I think I went with a goal of $400 in items a day drafted. So I didn't go with a number like 10 items. I went with a monetary value. And I mean, it worked. I got sales every single day and plenty of sales. More, I'm not upset about it, but more than I wanted to deal with when I got home. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was awesome. But I wish I was better about drafting, and that way whenever, just like you mentioned earlier, you feel like you're getting sick or something, if I get sick and I just don't want to do anything but try to rest, if I had a draft bank I could do that, right? And I very rarely have a draft bank.
I think there's major pros and cons to having the draft bank. I feel like some people love it and other people hate it. I think it's a great thing. I understand the drawbacks of having it. One is everyone is just so obsessed with this stupid thing called the algorithm that people are like, oh, you have to please the algorithm, so I got to list 15 a day or 20 a day or whatever it is every single day. So I'm just going to pick up garbage and put it in my draft bank so that way I can please this stupid algorithm. And that's just not, that's the drawback of a draft bank, because you're like, oh, I want to keep listing the same amount every single day. My goal is 10 and I only found 4 items today. I'm just going to pick up 6 more things that are good enough, I guess. So
yeah,
that's the drawback of it. But like, honestly, I do not think that you need to list the same amount of items every single day. But if you can find the inventory to, then it's going to be really good and beneficial.
Yeah.
But most people, it's just like, oh, I got to get my 10, got to get my 15. And so they start listing Avon.
makes sense. Yeah, they force it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I will do, if I find one item or maybe 2 items that hit that $400 goal that I try to set for myself every day, if I find 1 or 2 that reach that goal, then anything else I find that day, I do go ahead and get it drafted to drop the next day. But I don't focus on having a draft bank, and I want to because it makes sense to me. I just have never done it unless I knew I needed to. Like anytime I go on a vacation or whatever, I'd make sure I have enough drafts to cover the time I'm gone.
I usually have just over 100 drafted, and I launch 25 a day. So I have like a 4 or 5 day draft bank.
Yeah.
I like your draft banks, are they like filled out already? Like mine are just like a previous list. Oh, so yours are ready to go. Okay.
Yeah, no, every morning I just wake up and I launch 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my draft bank is more like items that look she sold similar from an item I already had, and it's like I got to change the title, change some of the
Mhm.
description. So, but the shipping stays the same and all that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've been focusing more on sell-through rate than numbers. You know what I mean? As far as how many. So I was able to sell a whole ton of golf clubs, and the golf clubs are still selling. But if I would have listed $1,500 or $2,500 in, say, books,
Avon books.
I'm not gonna have a almost $3,000 week on books just because I listed 3,000 books.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sell through
And a
rate
lot of people get super
over
emotional
quantity.
about that, but it is just straight up math. If you
Mhm.
list $3,000 of 1 week sell through rate items, you're probably going to make around $3,000 that week. If you list $3,000 of 3 year sell through rate items, you're probably going to make $48 that week. It's just,
Right, yeah.
you know.
Yep.
And like people like to get because you will get that book that sells 10 years after you list it, or someone will buy your Frank Sinatra CD for $7 plus $4 in shipping, and it's like, oh yeah, that was a worthwhile purchase. Like, was it though? Like,
Yeah.
what? Are you sure? Like, if you're listing, I mean, there's some guys out there listing 50, 75, 200 items per day, and they're not selling 200 items per day. And not that you have to list as many as you sell each week or each day, but man, if you're listing 1,000 items per week, I know people that are listing 1,000 items per week that are selling like 78 a week. It's like, wow, man,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
not a great place to be. Even if you get your items for free, like you're not making a great hourly rate whatsoever.
Yeah.
But some people are really successful with volume stores, not knocking it completely. But for those of us that are working 40 hours per week or less, especially people working 10 hours a week per less, you just a volume store won't work whatsoever. Just get $2,500 golf clubs, and that's easier said than done. Obviously, you've only done it once, but
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
you
I
should
just
shoot for.
happened to find a killer sale, you know what I mean? And I was leaving the neighborhood, and I happened to notice a street that I didn't turn on, and it was pouring down rain. So I was soaking wet, and I knew I had to get to this estate sale I wanted to get to. I wanted to make sure I was the first person at the door. I was the second, but I said, you know what? I'm going to turn down this street really quick, and I did. And 5 or 6 houses down on the left, I see an open garage door, and I'm like, okay, here's a sale. Well, the second garage door was shut, and they had a little bit of an awning kind of thing from their roof. And I noticed that whole front of that garage door that was shut was lined with golf bags full of clubs. It was pouring down raining. I just jumped out of the Jeep, ran down there, and I said, how much for all the clubs? I'm not going to look at them. I'm not getting soaking wet to do it, but what would you take for all of them? And she told me 50 bucks. And I was like, done. Let me
Yeah.
get them. And, you know, I caught a little bit of crap from people about it because they're like, oh, you should have gave her more money. Well, I knew there was good clubs in there because the bags were nice. And I sold one bag the other day for 75 off of Facebook Marketplace. But yeah, like
Right
I was
now, Google stock Alphabet is $155, and I'm pretty dang sure that a year from now it's gonna be. I mean, who knows what the economy and the uncertainty. Like we could go through a bear market, whatever. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years from now, that's gonna be significantly more than $155. And me knowing that, I'm not gonna just pay $300 for the stock. I'm gonna buy it for the asking price of
yeah,
$155. Like I
exactly.
don't understand why that's like such a huge issue.
Well, and
Yeah.
my whole thing is like this is my full-time job right now, and I'm here to make money to take care of my family. I'm not here to break even. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
breaking even doesn't pay the bills. I got to make money. Yeah, I could have afforded to give her another 50 to 100 bucks, but first, I didn't exactly know what all was in there. I knew the bags were good, so the clubs probably were, but I paid her price. I didn't offer 50. She told me 50.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was comfortable with it, and knowing that I was going to make money and be able to pay my bills and take care of the family. That's all I cared about in that moment, and still to this day. Like
Yeah.
I'm not upset that I got a great deal.
And if you
Yeah.
want to pay more, do that. It's your
Yeah.
life and your business. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with blessing someone and saying like, oh no, actually those are worth some more. I'll give you some more. I do that sometimes. And then
Yeah,
there's
I've done it.
sometimes definitely not $2,500, get a $50 offer and say, can you do 40? I wouldn't do that. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of times where there's $600 worth of stuff and they say 50, and I'm like, I can do 30. How about 40? It's just whatever you're feeling and whatever is best for you. And ultimately, I'm a real Christian guy. I'm very religious. I love Heavenly Father's children, and I'm always going to try to like support and bless other people. But my number one priority is my wife and future kids. So like, if
Yeah.
me having to give $500 more for those golf clubs is going to take away from my wife and kids, super happy to bless that other person. But my first responsibility is my wife and kids first. So.
Yeah. Gotta take care of
Absolutely.
yourself and your own.
But
I'm gonna
you
get
can run too far with that as well too, and like start screwing people over. Like, oh,
Yeah.
just don't do that either. But it's got to find the balance. But yeah, my wife and kids are more important. So
I had
this
a
lady. Oh, go ahead, Keith.
no, you go. You can finish that out, Shane.
Oh,
I'll go when you're
I
done.
was just gonna say this lady. So it was a woman probably mine and Keith's age, and then her mom. It was her mom who sold me the clubs because when I first asked, she said, "Let me get my mom." I'm assuming they were her husbands, and he's no longer around. Like he passed or something because she just wanted them gone, right? So she wasn't trying to get top dollar. There was 3 completely full golf bags, probably just taking up space in the garage, and she wanted them gone. So I'm sure if she wanted a ton of money for them, she would have asked for a ton of money for them.
yeah,
So I
Yeah.
don't feel bad.
No, I had a situation. I feel I will get roasted when I put this video out at some point, but it's sort of a similar situation, Shane. That I went to a yard sale. I went to a bunch of yard sales on Saturday, and there was one that was not on the map. I just happened to see a sign, got to it when they were setting up, and I stupidly that morning had brought my small SUV instead of my van. I have a van that I could buy. Could never turn away something because I didn't have space. You could fit anything in the van, but I had a
you call
small
those.
SUV.
Is it like that like a 12-seater van or just like a
It's no seats, just 2 seats up front in the cargo van. It's a cargo van.
Yeah, we call those plague rigs here in Utah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Plague rig?
Yeah, because
People at my work
there's a
call it a
lot of
creep
like
van.
polygamous communities here in
Oh,
this area.
oh, okay.
And they all have like 15 children, so it's like, oh yeah, throw them all in the plague rig.
Yeah, my work calls it a creep van because when you have a windowless van driving around, people, they don't really think you're out there buying stuff at yard sales.
Uh-huh.
But I pull up. I'm a small SUV. I already bought like 500 comics earlier in the morning, so I was like didn't have a ton of space. And I get there and they have 2 of those 90s lockers. There's a Chicago Bulls and a Miami Dolphins locker. They're like 5 feet tall. I've seen people sell them, but I never saw what they sold for. And I asked her what she wanted for them, and she was like $10 each. And I'm like, that's dirt cheap. I know they're a lot better than that. But I'm like, do I want to? Well, I'll be able to fit them in the car. And do I want to struggle getting them in there? So I offered her $15. She took it quickly, and but then I'm comping them out. The Bulls is like $200 to $300. The Dolphins is probably a couple $100. So I'm sure people, if I paid 20, people would not hated that terribly. But the fact that I took it down $5, they're not going to like it. But
When was the last time you went to Walmart to buy some ranch and you saw that it was $1.38 and you're like, no, this is worth $5. Here you go, Walmart.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So stupid.
That's true. Yeah.
I was in Walmart before here. Lindsay and I went grocery shopping, and then we went to. Do you guys have Panda Express out there?
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been telling Lindsay about Panda Express for years because I used
like
to
Panda
travel.
Express.
Me too. And we finally got one in town. It just opened up while I was gone. And so we went there for lunch and then rushed here. That's why I was telling you guys it was probably going to be late. We were trying to rush back from lunch, but yeah, we were in Walmart right before that, and I didn't offer them to pay anything more.
Yeah.
Dude, when it comes to like food and treats, dude, I'm so vanilla. I just get orange chicken and fried rice. I get the plate double order of orange chicken and fried rice.
Yeah.
Or like whenever I get like I don't like a lot of desserts because they get like too fancy. Like I'm just whenever I get ice cream, I just straight up get vanilla every time. And then
That's
if
like
I
my
add a
wife.
topping, I add caramel and that's it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I'm
everyone
the same
makes fun
way.
of me. I'm super vanilla when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah,
But vanilla ice cream is good by itself anyway.
Or
You don't
like
have to.
that's what
just a
I was.
glazed donut. There's like all these wide variety of donuts. I'll just take the glaze.
Yeah, the glazed ones are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at ice cream because Lindsay and my stepdaughter London want to do a movie night Saturday, and they want to make ice cream Sundays. And she's getting all this stuff for London, and she's like, "I'm just gonna have ice cream." I said, "Yeah, me too. I don't need all that stuff, to be happy. We
My
can just
wife,
take a bowl of ice cream, and London can throw down with chocolate and nuts and whatever she wants."
Yeah.
dude, Brindley grew up really loving ice cream, but recently, and this is weird because I don't know if you can like develop this or not, but over the last like year and a half, she just like almost is lactose intolerant. There's some dairy products that don't bother her whatsoever, but like ice cream just wrecks her, man. And she's like, that sucks. That was the only kind of like dessert that she really likes.
Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
would suck. Like I feel bad for people that are lactose intolerant. I love dairy, period. Like I love
Oh yeah,
milk,
dude. I
ice
love
cream,
milk.
cheese, whatever. But people with like shellfish allergies, oh, I feel so bad for them because I'm like lobster, shrimp, whatever.
Dude, I
I
hate
love it.
shrimp. Shrimp is
Do you?
disgusting, man. Yeah. I can't
I
I
love
can't
it.
even stand the smell of it. I don't know why.
Wow.
My
But yeah,
son
because
has a shellfish allergy actually, and so I haven't had it in years. I would like a scallop or something, but I avoid it now because of him. So I haven't
Yeah.
had, it's been a long time.
yeah.
Oh, I love scallops too.
We're good.
I had a girlfriend back in the day that was allergic to peanuts, I mean. And I
Yeah.
had a Reese's peanut butter cup, and she's like, "Oh, no kisses on the day." Like that. I completely forgot. What an idiot! I'm gonna kill my girlfriend.
Yeah, those allergies are scary. The peanut allergies,
Yeah.
or any,
Yeah.
that's
No, yeah, she
that's
would like if she's so I heard when I was like 10 years old, I remember watching the news and a girl died because her boyfriend had a PB&J sandwich like 8 hours previous, and then they made out and it killed her. Like that's
Wow.
nuts. That is
8 hours. Yeah,
absolutely
that's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's even
it's wild
cases of
stuff.
dogs. Like for my work, I don't allow this for my patients, but people will give dogs like peanut butter
Yeah.
to occupy them when they're doing their nails or drawing blood. But I know there was one case, not our hospital, somewhere else I saw in the news that the people did that for the dog when they're doing treatments, went home and like licked the kid who had a peanut allergy that nobody knew.
Dude, that's insane.
So I don't let any peanut butter anywhere near my patients for that reason. You never know, right? Like,
Well,
yeah, that's crazy.
it's really weird, and especially like in politics with RFK and all this about the seed oils and the artificial colors and stuff like that. Like, dude, like allergies. So when I went to Mexico for 2 years, I'm allergic to avocados. It sucks because I'm not like deathly allergic, but like my throat will swell up a little bit, my ears get super scratchy. I'm also allergic to watermelon and stuff. But I would like tell all these Mexican women, I'm like, I'm really sorry, I can't have any avocados, which is a staple. And they
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dude, no one had allergies 30 years ago. This is stupid,
yeah,
Because like, it's
yeah,
weird. Like allergies are becoming more and more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are pointing to like the stuff we put in food or vaccinations, things like that. It's
I know that a
interesting.
lot of the talk for for people with allergies is that it relates to intestinal parasites because
Yeah.
people don't really have intestinal parasites anymore. But that part of your immune system that deals with parasites is also the same type of immunity white blood cell that deals with allergies. So the fact that we don't have that anymore, they're finding new targets, I guess.
So
So,
basically, allergies have always been a thing, but back in the day we had more immune protections to it, and now we're
yeah,
losing those. That's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep. So
But it is funny. So like they're banning, red 40 and blue 1 or whatever, yellow 3. But companies are already trying to put like oceanic blue and right like a ruby red instead of red 40. It's like it's insane.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh
gotta
man.
love it.
I had a
But yeah,
little go, Jake.
my
Go,
uh
Jake.
my wife is not into the seed oil stuff for sure. She's like not because like calories are calories, but there's a ton of other stuff going on for your gut health and for all these things. So when I go to Panda Express, there's this place called Aubergine Kitchen right next to it that's like
Mhm.
really healthy. So she goes there and I go there and then we meet at the same table.
I don't even know what a seed oil is. Seed oil, like flaxseed oil.
Flaxseed and all that.
Okay,
Yeah, and like
okay,
canola oil and vegetable oil. So
okay.
we use olive oil for everything, and we use extra virgin olive oil. But like, dude, vegetable oil and canola oil are just garbage, man. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
they really are.
so bad for you, and it's so easy to just swap in olive oil. But
Yeah.
it's whatever. I mean, canola oil makes the government a ton of money, so I understand why it was pushed so hard. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
it makes sense.
I had a little
Yeah.
sourcing. I know there's like a lot of sayings. I don't know if Kevin the Commonwealth Picker coined the if it what is it? When in doubt, part it out. Is that his saying, or who is that his saying? But I had that with an antique item. So I had a pennant quilt that I bought years ago that I took this pennant out of. It's like a lot of them are sewn into quilts. It's a 1913 Indy 500 pennant.
Oh, nice.
So I took that out myself a long time ago, and then recently I paid one of my coworkers. Shout out Maya. I paid her. I gave her the quilt. She took it apart for me, and then this piece just sold for me today from that quilt. It's a I think of the Rat Picker with this one, a little Detroit sailboat pennant.
Yeah.
So you can even part out antique quilts when you want to part it out. So
Hey, speaking
yeah.
speaking of the Rad Picker, one of his, I don't know if you guys remember, he had some Mickey Mantle cards, 10 of them. He couldn't find one, but he said he'd find it and send it. I only got 9 cards. So he never found the Mickey Mantle, I guess, the 10th one. But
I know he said something like that to me too. He couldn't find one of my cards, so he sent me a replacement that I felt like he felt would be better. But
yeah,
I think I probably had that package in my car. I haven't even opened it yet.
Well,
So,
he is
yeah.
the self-proclaimed okayest reseller in the world.
is that
Yeah.
what there you go. I like
Yeah.
it.
Just
Yeah, I
the
opened
best.
my package the other day after I think I picked it up Tuesday, when the same day I got yours, Keith. But I was like, wait a minute, there's supposed to be 10 cards. He must have never found that 10th card, because I remember during the show he said, I don't see it, I'll find it and put it in there or whatever, but it never made it. So I guess he lost it. But I don't really care. I just wanted to support him. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Dude, good old
It's
Scott.
hard to stay organized in a live stream, right? It's nice to have a helper for that kind of stuff. But if you're
Yeah.
it gets hectic.
Scott totally believed the meat grinder story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got him.
He
Shane
called me.
got
He's
him.
like, "Dude, buddy, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, he was lying."
Yeah, like how does that even happen? That's not really possible, I don't think so.
No,
That's funny.
I thought
Yeah.
it was funny. Hopefully the audience did. I didn't see lots of
100%.
well wishes in the comments. So
yeah. Shane, Jake or Brad didn't even put a well wish. Come on, Scott.
Come on, Scotty.
I even worked the meat grinder subtly into the thumbnail. I don't know if you saw that, Jake. But
yeah, Jake was carrying it.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Guys, my grandmother-in-law is insane, bro. This is gonna sound like an exaggeration, but I go to her house the other day, and I walk upstairs, and she has minimum 250,000 sports cards, and she has bought all of them within the last like year and a half, and
Oh,
it's just
wow.
like
Wow.
it's just taking over her house, man. It's wild.
Where's she buy them?
Just Walmart and Target, and
Oh,
she
so
doesn't she doesn't get like hobby or anything like that. Just blasters and
Blasters
Legos
and
stuff.
Mega Bucks.
is she opening them? Or are they unopened?
Yeah, she opens all of them.
Oh,
'Cause
interesting.
dude, she's addicted to it, man. And she just spends hours and hours and hours a day putting them in top loaders and one touches. It's funny because she'll get like an $80 card, and it'll just be in a penny sleeve on top of the table. And then she'll have an 80-cent like 4th year Ken Griffey Jr. card in a one touch. I'm like, it's so funny.
Yeah. Interesting. It's not the demographic you would expect, but to each his own. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
she loves them, man. It's wild.
That's funny.
I'm like, holy cow, man. So
Yeah.
funny.
I have my first Did the Cards break next Thursday. Well, this comes out Monday, so it'll be this week on Thursday night. Doing like you can bid. The bidding is a week up to the rip, and
Yeah.
the rip is Thursday night at 9 p.m. So looking forward to that. It'll be fun.
Oh, that's cool. I have to
Yeah.
make sure I'm there.
Yeah, I actually during the pandemic I would buy into eBay breaks all the time. They would just have like the Prism 2020 box, and it's like buy the Charlotte Hornets and then bid up things like that. I bought a lot of cards from that. It's fun.
I've done it a ton on Whatnot, done it on a little bit on District. I've never done it on eBay. Where do they show the break? is it on like YouTube or something?
Yeah,
Or
on YouTube.
is it?
Yeah,
They have the link in the description and you go to it and stuff.
Okay.
I've never bought into them on eBay, but I've seen them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how would we know? And then I read the description, and it says break on this
Yeah.
YouTube channel at this time, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's actually kind of cool. I've
Yeah.
bought into them on Whatnot before. I've never done good buying into a break. I tried to buy into rods last night, but it was running after my bedtime. So like I bid max bids on the ones I wanted, and I got outbid.
Yeah.
So
He did well though. It was good activity in that one. So hopefully the same for mine. We shall see.
What are you going to break?
It's three boxes of Donruss Optic football 2024. So a mega, 2 blasters, and then an 89 score football pack. So that's like the set with Barry Sanders rookie and Deion Sanders rookie. So throw a little vintage player since I'm vintage sport flips. So
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Man, dude, the draft was pretty crazy this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild
stuff. Dude, the Browns like preseason games are going to be pretty interesting because I forgot the name of the other rookie quarterback that they drafted, but they're definitely going to be throwing him out on the field, and I'm envisioning people just booing because they want Sanders out there, So
yeah,
it's possible, yeah,
because
but
he
they
went
gotta
144.
give them both a shot.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I don't know what their plan is initially, who they're going to start, or is it true competition there? But
yeah.
I mean, because Pickett looks good at times. I like Pickett. Flacco, I mean, he's not a future quarterback for you. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's gonna be interesting because man, going 144th. I wonder because he's also very very hyped, but he is like a skilled player. I wonder what he actually would have went if he didn't have the attitude and the quotes about the locker room and culture and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think he would have been a first round draft pick?
I think so. If he didn't have like that kind of attitude, because there's a lot of quarterbacks in the past who like Ryan Leaf, who came in with that kind of attitude and
went nowhere.
Johnny Manziel, right? I mean, if you're not willing to learn
Johnny
and you
football,
come in,
man.
you're doomed in the NFL. So
yeah, Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning were both rookies in 98, and Manning, those were the two big names, and Ryan Leaf was like unheard of after that first initial year. Like he was nothing anymore, and Peyton had a good head on his shoulders and a great attitude and was willing to make changes and do all the right things, and his career took off, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, if you have the best quarterback, you have a good shot at winning the Super Bowl. But football really is like a team sport. And if you're not a team player, like you will be out of the league for sure.
Yep.
Because I was listening to this podcast where I can't remember who was talking, but it was an ex-GM, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, there were plenty of times where we could have had a talented player, but we took the significantly less talented offensive lineman because that was the man who said, 'Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.' And he was the one that kept 7 other players out of the bar the Saturday before a Sunday football game, which was much more important than the extra 85 running yards we would have got with the more talented player. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
A lot goes into it.
See that movie at Draft Day, which is a terrible movie, but I sort of enjoy Draft Day. Where I think they hid like $100 bill in the playbook, and they saw who like returned the playbook without the $100 bill in there, or who took it or gave it back. So I'm sure that kind of
Drumline. That with oh man, I'm blanking his name.
I don't know.
I can't remember either.
Oh shoot, that's wild. Nick Cannon. There you go.
Oh yeah,
Nick Cannon. Yep.
Yeah, they that was one of my favorite movies as a kid for some reason. I don't know why, but they say you have to read the whole book to be a part of the team, and then like the very last page says, if you do not read this book, you will have to shave your head. And then he didn't read it, so they shaved his head. So,
oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Some old Cowboys player. He was a defensive player. May have won Defensive Player of the Year a couple of times. I just can't remember his name. But the Cowboys, they would give him cassettes to watch film, and then he would tell them all the time, "Oh yeah, I watched the film." And then one day they just gave him blank cassettes, Oh, did you watch the film? Like, oh yeah, I watched it. Okay, what'd you learn? It's like, oh yeah, I need to cut harder. You know, it's like, dude, those were blank, bro. That was funny.
Oh man, that's good.
Good stuff. Oh man, but yeah, 45 minutes in, Poshmark, dude. Poshmark has been really good. Some people are straight up getting banned for the new like whatever the guidelines are now. But dude, I'm still sharing. I've already shared 4,327 items, 841 offers. I've followed 995 people, and I've delisted like 18 items that sold on eBay and Mercari yesterday from Poshmark. And I'm not no whispers of being banned, so it's interesting. But yeah, I guess some people are actually being banned, and a lot of people are like, "F you, Poshmark," and are just leaving. And I'm noticing a bump in sales. It's pretty nice.
So yeah, I heard a lot of talk about Poshmark, but because I'm not over there, I don't really know the details of what the guidelines are. What was going on there?
So people are like have been really gaming the system. So I have this software through Flip where it's sharing and doing auto offers. But there's also there's competing softwares that they will delist and relist your item. And so people were delisting and relisting an item 1,500 times per day times 1,500 items. And so it was just like a huge spammy nightmare. And so Poshmark put an end to that.
Yeah.
And that's what it talks about in the guidelines is about that delist and relist specifically. But I guess some people are getting banned for delisting their 7 items that sold on eBay. I don't know. It's not happening to me.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I've been meaning to go over there and at least do some cross listing. But Etsy's been strong. I sold like I think I've talked about these before on my channel, but there's
Sorry,
little.
guys, I got to pee so bad.
Okay, no worries. I'll tell Shane. Shane, those press. I think I've showed them on Pastime Picks podcast. The printing press, like letters and different graphics that I'll sell.
Yeah.
But I sold. Let me see if I can pull this up. Share my screen. So it's this. These like little ornate letters here. It's a full alphabet plus like a few extra.
Yep.
And I sold that to the Shakespeare Museum in Washington D.C. for like they bought a full set for like $540. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with them, but if you guys ever see them out there, I sell them usually by the letter. I'll put the whole alphabet up and like let people pick. They'll buy like dad. They'll try to spell dad, and for like $60, they'll buy 3 letters. But it's nice to sell them one off like that as a quick sale too.
Yeah, heck yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was saying I sold a big group of like printing press letters to a museum in Washington D.C. They're like pretty ornate lettering, so that stuff sells if you ever come across it.
Can you guys hear the tape gun in the other room?
Nope.
It's not going right now, but
yeah,
barely,
yeah. Yeah, Brinley, she trained three clients this morning, so she's doing shipping right now instead of at 5 a.m. like she normally does. So
yeah.
My
wife loves it because I do my shipping about the same time she takes a nap, but she wants right outside this door is our living room, and she wants to nap on the couch, and I'm like, go to the bedroom, shut the door, and she's like, can't get any sleep around here when you're home, and I'm like, I gotta work too, you know. Go to the bedroom. Love a good
couch nap, man.
And her too.
I feel like nothing better than them falling asleep during a movie nap. That's like the best nap for some reason for me. Like any Marvel movie does that to me. I don't know why.
Like a full night's sleep on the couch, not the move.
No.
But a nap for some reason, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where she naps. She loves it. Right outside my shipping room. That tape dispensers. Raising all kinds of cane.
Dude, the biggest wealthy / upper middle class flex in America is a brand new sectional. Because dude, sectionals are so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Like I was at this older couple, not like super old, but like in their 50s. I was at their house and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just bought this couch. It was $12,000." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Well, I heard Dave talking about that. On on one of his videos after they moved, he was talking about looking at furniture stores, for a section or whatever, and they're trying to sell him a $12,000 couch, and he's like,
Yeah,
"No,
dude.
I'm not buying a $12,000 couch. I wouldn't either personally, but
Yeah.
I've
sold a few sectionals on Facebook before I started doing my YouTube channel. I had more space before I got married, and I was buying sectionals on Facebook for $50 to $200, and then flipping them on Facebook right back onto Facebook for anywhere from $500 to $1,800. I sold one for. It was sick.
Nice.
Yeah, but one of them was a Bassett. I guess those are like really expensive.
That's a good one. Yeah.
This old guy, he's like, this is free. First one to come pick it up. And my wife and I actually, we put that in my first house with my wife. We used it for a while. And then when we moved, we sold it for like $900 on our way out. It was sweet.
Sweet. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we came here, the sectional in our basement right now, not basement, main floor, I guess. We got it for $500, which is a pretty decent deal because all the other ones up here in northern Utah, everyone was trying to get over $1,000 for the sectionals. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, sectionals, man. Like you can get a really nice sectional for $800 on Facebook Marketplace. I don't understand why people would spend $7,000 on a sectional.
Oh yeah, I mean that's almost a car at that point, right?
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, dude. Like sectionals, man. Sectionals and smokers. Those are the two upper middle class flexes.
Oh, I think you were talking about cigarette smoke. I'm like, what? But
No,
okay, I got
like
you
a
now.
Traeger.
Yeah, I got you. Like Shane's got one, I think, right?
But I earned mine, so I didn't buy it. My father-in-law gave it to me for. I came over and pressure washed and restained his deck for him, and that was his repayment. It was a nice new Traeger.
I have a Traeger, but it's just because my real estate agent includes it as a housewarming gift. I'm like, dude, that's an expensive housewarming gift, man. You know.
I used to.
I used to have for every person that buys a house from you. Like,
I used to have a woodworking business, and I had I used to make cutting boards, and I had a company called Chopped, CHOPD, apostrophe D, Chopped Board Company, and I made kitchen boards. So like I would do butcher block countertops for people and make cutting boards and all this kind of stuff. But I had a realtor who used to buy from me for all her clients.
Yeah.
So no Traeger salesman, but I was doing pretty good with the woodworking.
My father-in-law loves smoking meat, man. He's like, dude, he like gets up every 3 hours in the middle of the night to do stuff with it. I'm like, bro, that is. And I'm like,
it's dedication.
I'm like, Jason, dude, it maybe tastes 5% better. Like, why are you getting up every 3 hours? It's like, dude, get some sleep, bro. Because it's gonna taste amazing no matter if you just dial it back a little bit and then just let it smoke for 14 hours without interruption. It's gonna taste amazing anyway.
Yeah,
he's like, no, you have to go in and you have to do that. And I'm like, bro, like literally 5% better, man. Not worth it. But he thinks it's like 800% better. So
yeah. It makes him happy. He enjoys it.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
That's all it is.
He loves it.
I love cooking on mine. I don't do it. I don't use it as much as I thought I would. And then I bought like a 36-inch Blackstone. That was a purchase right before I got laid off. So soon I hadn't even used it yet, and
was
I was like,
a flat top one, like a flat top griddle. Yeah, those are nice.
So it's an outdoor one. It's got the big stand and all. You hook it up to propane. But Ace Hardware, I had been wanting one for a while, and that particular one's like a $500 one, and Ace Hardware had them 50% off, and I was like, I'm buying it now while it's cheap. And then literally like 2 days later, I lost my job, and I was like, should I send it back? And I was like, nah, I won't get another one that cheap anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, but we use that. We cook like hibachi style stuff on there quite a bit, and I even cooked some burgers on there not last weekend, the weekend before, and they were amazing. I usually grill them, on the grill, but they were great on the Blackstone.
I'm about to have a burger after this. Yesterday I had Arby's in the morning, and then I had 2 home cooked burgers, and then we went to Shake Shack later that night.
Oh
So
wow,
it's great. Nice little burger day.
carnivore day there.
Guys,
Yeah.
I back when my testosterone was at its lowest point and all that good stuff was going on, I think I was eating like 1,200 calories a day, which is awful for a man. But now I'm eating like on average 3,500 calories per day. A lot of times I'll get over 4,000. I've gained. I posted this on my Instagram the other day. I gained 26 pounds in 10 weeks.
Oh wow,
Wow.
that's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I weigh 184 pounds today. I was 159 10 and a half weeks ago. So
Dang, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, I'm really starting to feel like myself again. It's nice. Just like each week, I'm feeling better and better. And then and now the sun is finally like here again. So I'm like, oh yeah, this summer's gonna be great.
Yeah,
we're gonna get back to normal ski for sure.
I saw you guys ever watch that show like The Food That Made America? I think it's on the History Channel. It's like the one episode, it was about Arby's, how Arby's got started, and how Taco Bell got started. It's pretty interesting how these companies were like, the origination of them and the advancements they made to compete with McDonald's. It's pretty cool. A lot of people, I think, viewed Arby's as like all leftovers because people would eat that kind of stuff at home, just like sliced up pot roast from the weekend. But they had to sort of reinvent the roast beef
Dude, I
sandwich.
love Arby's.
I do too.
Like a lot of people are like pretty lukewarm or think it's gross, but dude, Arby's is one of my favorites. It's so good.
Oh yeah,
I like it. I like to take all the different sauces and mix them together, and whatever creation that is, especially if you can get the spicy 3-pepper, which is hard to find around here. But
Oh, really?
I mix all their sauces together, and it's just amazing on fries, on the sandwiches, whatever.
Do you guys like horseradish? Like
Every now and then, I'm not a
yeah.
huge fan, but I don't mind it if it's like mixed in something. I don't like it by itself. Like
it tastes like poison or medicine to me. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm like, that sensation is not a good one. Why do people like this?
got a little burn to it.
The first time I ever had wasabi, I felt the same thing. I was like, "Oh my god, what the heck is that? I never want to see that again." But I like the wasabi and soy sauce almonds. I think it's Emerald makes them or whatever. That's my favorite one. And I don't like wasabi, but that something about those almonds are absolutely amazing.
I think I've talked about this before, but I would pretty much do anything in high school for a burrito and an horchata. That was our thing. Just like I would do stupid. We would just dare each other to do stupid stuff. And if there was any pushback at all, I'd be like, "I'll get you a burrito and a horchata from Beto's."
I never even heard of it. What's an horchata?
An horchata, it's just like I drink a lot of it on my mission
It's
to Mexico.
milky drink, right?
So it's got milk and cinnamon in it, and then some people add rice to it as well.
Interesting. Okay.
There's a Keith. I don't know how often you partake in like the liquor store, but there's a rum called rum chata that's very similar.
Oh, yeah.
It's just got rum instead, but it's a very milky, cinnamony rum. I'm not a fan of it personally because I like just rum, but it's almost kind of like you know how people will take Kahlua and mix it in their coffee. I feel like you could probably do the same thing with that, and spice your coffee up a little bit.
If I drank, I love the like girly drinks, man. Like every time I go to Mexico or the Bahamas, I'll drink like 19 virgin strawberry daiquiris every day. I would do the same thing. Good old virgin strawberry daiquiri, man. So
introduced, was it last summer? I don't think it was last summer. Maybe the summer before. We were at Myrtle Beach for the week, and I remembered like growing up, my mom, my stepdad, and they'd all be having, my aunts, they'd have their daiquiris and stuff, and mom would always make us Shirley Temples, which is just ginger ale with like some cherry juice or something. I can't remember exactly what.
I think isn't it cranberry juice? I don't know a lot.
I don't remember. But I remember drinking them, so I introduced my stepdaughter to them. I'd have to look up now, but I Googled it to see what was in it. And, man, we drank those, me and her, all week long. And I was like, whatever, it's the beach. I'm enjoying it, But Lindsay and I are going on a cruise to the Bahamas in August. And
nice.
I'm looking forward to pina coladas and, summertime drinks. Like, I'm not going to be out there drinking straight whiskey like I do on Monday nights.
You
I'm
go to
gonna
that water park in was that Atlantis in Bahamas? You're gonna hit
be
that or
well. We have Carnival. We're going on
okay?
Carnival, and we're going to be the second boat, I think, to visit their brand new. It's not even open yet. They have a
Ah,
brand new island called Celebration Key,
Oh,
oh,
sweet.
cool.
and
Awesome.
our cruise is in August, and it opens up either like the last week of July or the first week of August. I don't remember what week our cruise is, but our boat is supposed to be like the second or third boat to even visit this new place. So I'm
Oh,
looking
that's
forward
dope.
to it.
Are you still
Yeah.
going to go to Nassau, the main island?
We're I can't. I don't think we are. I think we're going to. Crap. I'd have to ask my wife. She
Well, if you go to
knows.
one of the bigger islands, definitely just rent a four-wheeler, and because the streets are like super narrow and it's like hard to get around. But if you have a four-wheeler, you can just go any
Yeah.
direction and any speed you want. It's wild.
I forget. We're making 3 total stops. I do remember that, but I
Mhm.
don't remember. I remember Celebration Key because that was one of the selling things. They're like brand new, island. And what's super cool is, and no offense to anybody that has kids, we're not taking kids with us. So we
Mhm.
have like paid up to have like this private beach with no children. So like it'll be a little more relaxing, hopefully. But
Yeah.
that's one of the big ticket sellers for us on that particular trip was okay. Celebration Key sounds like a lot of fun, but it's even cooler that's not going to be surrounded by children screaming and hollering and playing. Good for them that their parents brought them on vacation, but like all our kids besides my stepdaughter are adults. So my she'll be 15 by then, but she's actually going on a cruise with her dad the week of her birthday in July. So we chose to do this one without her and go. It's our first cruise, so without kids, I think we'll enjoy it a little more, maybe.
Cruises are sweet. I like them because
Yeah,
it's like, the day at sea or whatever. It's just nice to relax, but then you can
yeah,
do excursions at the places you stop at. It's a best of both worlds kind of thing. It's dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're looking forward to it.
Growing up, I never left the country, and like our vacation, because I didn't grow up wealthy at all. Our vacation was like going to California and stuff, or like I remember like going to movies and like not getting popcorn or drinks or anything. It's like you're going to the movie. That's what we're paying for,
Yeah, that's
you
yeah,
know. And now, like with my wife's family, and now with me and Brinley, like if we ever, so I think we ended up going on like one fancier vacation when I was younger, and like excursions, not even a thought. It's like the resort is already expensive enough, and then I go to on vacations with my wife's family, and they're like, oh yeah, no, let's do this excursion. I'm like, wow, this is different.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Lin-
interesting to
Lindsay
adjust.
Lindsay overheard me. She just texted me Half Moon Cay, Celebration Key, and Nassau, or however you pronounce that. So
Okay.
those are
So
the
you're
three.
on the main
NASA, yeah. So
island.
that's the
Main
main
island.
island. Definitely get the four-wheeler and just drive around the island.
Cool.
Get
Yep.
some Bitcoin while you're there.
Yeah.
They're big on Bitcoin over
Oh, really?
there.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, no, man, I can't believe I forgot this guy's name. But the guy named Sam something that did that cryptocurrency scam. He became like a billionaire in 2 nights, and then he's like, oh, sorry, the money's gone, and he like screwed over all those people.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he bought like half of the Bahamas. So like
Jeez.
he had like a huge like 8 different mansions estate in like the corner of Nassau or whatever. So we like drove past that, and there's like armed guards everywhere. I'm like, dude, what is this guy doing, man? And then like 6 days later, he got sent to Fed. He got in trouble. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was that
Crazy.
guy's name? I think it was Sam something.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember hearing about that though.
I type in crypto scam Sam. Maybe it's
There's, one-
not Sam.
there's one in Canada too, right? I'm not
Sam Bankman-Fried. There it is.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he got sentenced to 25 years in prison.
Almost like a Ponzi
Dang.
scheme, kind of a.
Yeah, no, so he created his own cryptocurrency company, and he convinced like a ton of investors to give him, I think it was like $118 billion. And then he lost all
Wow.
of it. Just like, oh man, dude. I was a lot more brushed up on the story back when it was happening, because I was a
Yeah.
lot more interested in investments in crypto. Now I'm just a lot more passive in it. But yeah, FTX was crazy. It was crazy stuff. But yeah.
That is crazy.
But yeah, dude, like what's really nice about reselling is if you work really hard and if you become good at it, you can go to the Bahamas. You really
Yep.
can. Like you can take off 6 days and you don't have to ask your boss to do so. And what I really recommend when people go on vacations, again, like don't let the algorithm scare you or dictate your life. When you guys go on vacations, like really go on the vacation. A lot of people are like, and on smaller vacations, if you're like checking offers and answering questions and stuff like that, that's fine too. But dude, if you go on a 4 or 5 day vacation, just go on a 4 or 5 day vacation. It's nice.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
thing I did while I was gone, every morning when I woke up, I'd have breakfast, and that's when I'd just log in on my phone, let my I didn't think to schedule my drafts, so I logged in on my phone and I just would go through and drop, however many for the day. And that was it. I mean, it took 5 minutes every morning,
Yep.
maybe 10 if I was, like you said, answering a question or something. Cause I did actually have a couple of people wanting measurements of things that have been listed a while, and I didn't back then. I wasn't taking measurements in my photos. Now I do that because I get tired of those questions. But so I had a couple of questions I had to answer, and same thing. Facebook Marketplace, I had listed one of those golf club bags, and had two different people messaging me asking if they could come get it, and I had to let them know, yeah, hey, as soon as I get back in town, I'll let you know. But it literally took 5 to 10 minutes every day, and then I didn't have to think about it again. So it was awesome. Still felt like I got work done, because I got listings up because I had a draft bank. So yeah,
Yeah.
stress free, man.
Not to be a hypocrite of what I just said, but I bring my laptop with me on vacations and just spend 15 minutes in the morning and then put it away.
I do the
Yeah,
same thing. I'll have my morning coffee with the laptop,
Yep.
YouTube listing, then still
that was
checking my
one thing
phone.
I did do. I left my laptop here, only took my phone, which speaking of real quick, well, I did have my YouTube video already prepped and ready to go since I wouldn't be there. But speaking of my phone, on the way up there, I started noticing I was losing signal like a lot, and I shouldn't be, right? I'm on the interstate the entire way. So I swing by T-Mobile in Somewhereville, Kentucky, and they did a not a factory reset, but a network reset for me, and it's supposed to wipe out all kinds of stuff and reboot the network settings, and that didn't work. So I was like, well, I can get through the weekend on Wi-Fi if nothing else at the hotel, but it worked on and off. So I could be at the hotel and the casino or whatever, and I would have 5G. But as soon as I'd leave there, and like in between there and the horse track, it's a 20-minute drive, and I would not have service the whole way there. And 20 minutes outside of Louisville, Kentucky, that's a big city. I should have service no matter where I'm at. Anyways, long story short, I got on the way back home, and it finally it never worked the whole 9-hour drive home. So brand new phone that I
Nice.
was not happy I had to buy. But
You
my
had
other
a
phone
chance
was,
to finally join the iPhone family and you still didn't.
I still didn't. I almost did simply for district, but I
Yep.
didn't. But this is the Galaxy 25. It's much smaller than my 22 Ultra I had. But I ordered it, so I didn't have it in hand. I should have looked at them while I was at that T-Mobile store, but I ended up just ordering it once I got home. So I was without a phone for a good day and a half.
Does your old one still like function at all, Shane? Or
It
just
does on
doesn't?
Wi-Fi, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's still good, and I want to keep it because maybe this is morbid, but I think people understand. There's a lot of videos of my mom before she passed on that phone.
Yeah.
From her final couple when she was diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia. We were given 2 to 8 years, and we ended up with 6 years,
No.
so I'm pretty happy about that. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of videos during those 6 years that are on that phone, and I don't
Oh, yeah,
want to
keep
lose
it
them.
forever.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah,
keep it, get an external drive to put them on or something. But yeah, for now it's sitting in my closet where I can't lose it.
Yeah,
I
because I have
leave
a
stuff in my
second
closet
phone.
all the time, so be careful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a second phone that I got because of I have Wi-Fi in the warehouse, and it was basically free to get the phone. They lowered the bill price a little bit, so but it's
Yeah.
great for like selling live stream because I can like be
Yeah.
streaming on this phone, then I can be comping stuff out on my other phone and
Yeah.
checking the
Gotcha.
chat. So yeah,
No,
Yeah.
I have 2 phones, and I do a lot of like lot buying on eBay. And so I'll look through the lots on one phone, and then I'll see individual items, and I'll look them up on the other, so that way I don't lose my place. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
nice to
that's
have.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I did
But
put
yeah.
the members down there. Might as well thank our
Oh, yeah,
members of the
forgot
channel.
again.
Yeah, with Eagles and Beagles, because that's a new one, Jake. Eagles
Yep.
and Beagles. I like the Eagles part. I like a Beagle too. Caleb sells, Joe from Virginia, Sarah sells Smalls, Archie Biscuit Butt, and then us 3 and our anonymous member. So thank you
Yep.
for
Thank you guys.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, no, you guys gotta join the membership so that way Shane and Keith can make some money off of this.
Yeah, there you go.
Just because when I invited these 2 to become members of the podcast with me, we all agreed like, oh well, me and Sonny built this, so like this is kind of my podcast that I built. So we're not splitting revenue yet, but we are splitting the memberships. So if you guys want Shane and Keith to make some money, and once this builds and grows a lot, we're gonna start revenue sharing all the views as well. But
Yeah.
right now, dude, Shane and Keith, they need the money. So
Yeah, we
There you
need
go.
the money. Keith doesn't need as much as me, but we both need it.
Yeah.
Keith's
true.
got his full-time job and is reselling. I was
Yeah.
talking to my aunt about you earlier today, Keith, when I went by her house. She had a bunch of they just moved back from Utah. So she saved all their packing materials and bubble wrap and papers and all that stuff for me. So I went and picked it up today while I was out thrifting. And what were we talking about? Oh, she was telling me that her and my grandmother went yard selling this past weekend, and we got to talking about flea markets and stuff. And I was like, yeah, my buddy Keith's up in Philly, and he finds the coolest stuff. I can't wait to go check out their flea markets because we've had the same 2 flea markets here my entire life, and it's kind of the other than sports cards because back in the day, the flea market was the place to go get sports cards. We didn't have card shops. So all the dealers would set up and sell sports cards there. That's the only thing that's really changed. It's still kind of the same people have been there for 20 something years, and then the occasional people who are just trying to spring clean and get rid of stuff. But I'd love to get out and hit some of those bigger, cooler flea markets up your way, or even out west. Just check the different things out because I'm just used to these 2, and
Yeah.
I was like, I said I keep saying I'm going to go up to Philly and go source with my buddy Keith, and one of these days I'll have to jump on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because literally every day of the week, I mean, I don't go to them because I work a lot of hours, not a lot, but I work a decent amount of hours. But like every day of the week, there's a different flea market, at least like an hour or so
every
driving
day,
range.
even like on a random Tuesday.
Yeah, there's a market every Tuesday, and Roots is one market that I've hit occasionally. But yeah, and the ones I go to are generally every Thursday. Rarely I'll wake up like 4 a.m., get to a flea market in New Jersey on Wednesday before I have to be at work at 8 a.m. That's a tough morning.
Yeah.
And then every Thursday and every Sunday I pretty much hit a flea market. So, but there's other days I could go.
Saturday's your yard sale day?
Yeah, or if I don't go yard selling, it's when I catch up on shipping a little bit. But yeah, I
I got you.
this time of year I'll go. It's a small window for me in my area when I hit yard sales.
Yeah. Is yard selling like a pretty big part of your business, or is it just kind of back burner thing?
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, I did well this past weekend, but would I like to find and like to sell? I don't find a ton of it out there. But when you find stuff, it's cheap, right? So I understand why people love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to source is yard sales, personally.
But a lot of
it's
stuff
because
that
our
you're
flea
getting,
markets aren't as great. So
yeah.
Keith, a lot of stuff that you're getting, you're paying like $30 to sell it for 70 kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I would say at least double up on a lot of it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a yard sale, you could find $5 into $300 more readily than a flea market, because flea market, they're dealers typically,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, that's true.
But no, it's
Yeah.
a good business model too, especially if your items are moving.
Yeah, if you're buying the right things and doubling up, great. You know, if
Yeah.
you don't want to, like, you don't want to fill your inventory warehouse or building or whatever you have, even if it's just a closet, you don't want to fill that up with stuff that's not going to move and be putting that much money into it. So,
Oh yeah. And there's definitely been buys that I've made thousands on the items at flea markets from people who knew what they were doing, right? I bought this one really cool box of relics that were like, Shane, you would have liked this, but I sold this years ago. But there was a part of the Statue of Liberty when they built the Statue of Liberty.
Oh,
It was
cool.
all from a museum. They would like document what it was from, and parts of like Revolutionary warships and like buildings. And it was like probably like 300 different like little relics that had the museum tags on them. That kind of stuff that killed it when I found that. That was like $50. So
wow.
yeah. But they're not always like that. I'll buy. It's not always the huge margins at flea markets, but they're still fun to. It's all in one spot. You don't have to. I hate the in and
Yeah.
out of my car, right? So
yeah. I'm surprised there aren't as many flea markets here in northern Utah. I thought there would be a good amount of them, but there just aren't too many of them. Maybe I just need to do a little bit more research. But yeah, flea markets I think are a much bigger thing on the East Coast for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. East Coast and South, and I think the North. Maybe even like your area, Shane. There's a little less of them than like uh, Pennsylvania up to like New England area. That seems like that's a
We
flea market
have,
hotspot.
so within, let's just say 3 hours, within 3 hours, I can think of, there's 2 here, one in Charleston, one in Myrtle Beach. So that's 4. There's one about 30 minutes south of me that I've never been to, and I keep saying I'm going to. So maybe I'll do that this weekend. And then there's one in the northern part of the state, which is where Chris, Buck Mountain Barn, and Leroy, Blood, Sweat, and Cell, those guys live up there. There's one up there. So one in Charlotte. So maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 within a 3-hour drive of me, and that's it. Like,
yeah,
I know the further north you get, they seem to me be more readily available. You know, like
There's
you
more
said,
people and more stuff.
yeah, that's definite. Especially, South Carolina is a small state, so maybe 5 or 6 within a 3-hour drive of the center of the state where I'm at's not so bad. Considering how small South Carolina is.
Yeah. There's like on Sunday mornings, I could go to 7 different flea markets all within an hour away. And I usually go to one because I set up there inside, but I went to a different one a couple weeks ago, and I like killed it with clothing, hats and clothing. And actually, I was 4 different people recognized me. And I have a small channel. I'm like,
there you go. That's dope.
why am I a celebrity at this flea market? I've never even been here. But I might have to hit that one again because it was like killer clothing there.
Yeah, and speaking of being recognized, I mentioned earlier that guy Chris came up to me and introduced himself, but he said that I can't remember exact words, but he owes Jake a lot of money because of how much he's learned from him.
There you go.
So I was like, man, Jake will be happy to hear that he's got a check coming. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my one of my friends. So he was my roommate before I met my wife, and we did summer sales together. I would sell everything, and then he would spray and be the tech. He's doing it in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he just texted me yesterday, and he's like, "Dude, I just serviced a reseller's house," and I told him that I know. I'm like, "Do you know this guy on YouTube named J Ride Flips?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, I used to work for him in eBay." I'm like, sick.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool. I love Baton Rouge, man. It's nice down there.
Yeah, Baton Rouge is really nice for selling pest control too. I've done really well in Baton Rouge.
A lot of pests in Louisiana.
Yep.
Very humid, and the bugs like it. Yeah.
Gnats.
Yep. Oh, the mosquitoes are out here even.
Mosquitoes.
And like I live in the middle of the woods, so like we expect snakes and, mice and whatever. But like there's no water anywhere near me. I don't know where these mosquitoes come from. I guess, under the pine straw, maybe they're nesting and laying eggs or stuff, whatever. But man, I got this morning. You probably can't see it. There's a spot here that got me on the back of my head. Like, my gosh, I'm sick of them already. They just started coming out.
Mosquito season starts here in like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not excited for it
I
because
hate them.
the Great Salt Lake.
They
Yeah,
say
like that.
they say mosquitoes prefer certain types of blood over other blood types, and I must have. My wife very rarely gets bitten. They swarm me, man.
Dude, that's weird. I wonder if like when their feet touch the skin, they can like sense like, oh, this is good blood or this is blood I don't really want.
Yeah. Oh, this guy drinks whiskey. I like this.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I'm allergic to insect bites too. So like a mosquito bites me, and you generally will, most people after 30 minutes to an hour, they probably don't even realize it anymore. But mine, it's like days. It still itches.
Oh, that stinks.
When I used to travel, every once in a while, I'd end up in a hotel room with bed bugs, and I'm allergic to, so bed bugs inject you with something that keeps your blood from clotting. I'm allergic to that stuff. I found out. That's fun. So like a bed bug bite, for me, everyone leaves a scar, but it's like months for it to heal because
Ugh.
I'm so allergic to whatever that stuff is they inject into
Have you
your
ever had a
bloodstream.
tick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, every other year we have this huge family reunion, and when I mean huge, I mean like thousands of people, because my great grandfather named Abinadi Olson had 13 children, and those 13 children had on average 9 children each, and so yeah, we have
Yeah.
thousands of people every 2 years, and it's right in the middle of Utah, and there's this reservoir. It's called Joe's Valley Reservoir. I was just swimming through it, and then when I got out, there was a tick in my chest. I'm like, oh, darn. And then I just took a match, burnt it out. Felt like a man. I was
Yep.
I was 14 when I did that. It was pretty sick.
I've
I
had
was like a
I've had
scared
a
little
handful
girl
of
when
them.
I got out of the water, and then my dad's like, "Oh, just light a match, and it'll burn it, and it'll get scared and leave your skin." Like, oh, sweet, okay.
Yeah, we have them here. Like, we have to check the dog from time to time because he'll come in with them on him. But I've never gotten one here at the house. But traveling, building cell phone towers, a lot of times are out in the middle of the woods, and you can't
Yeah.
help but get them on you. But there's stuff for anybody who cares. There's a brand of tick spray made by Repel, Repel. It
Mm-hmm.
comes in a red burgundy colored can. It's called Tick Defense. That stuff is amazing. I spray all our camping gear with it, all my clothes when I'm hiking and stuff like that. It works. And it keeps mosquitoes away too. It doesn't have DEET in it, so it doesn't have that strong pungent smell either, like a lot of bug sprays has. It's like $6 a can and worth every penny.
My first year in Columbus, I'd been out knocking doors for like 6 or 7 days, and then my manager the next morning, he shows us. He's like, "This was on the news here in Columbus, Ohio last night." And it was reporters saying Ticktopia. This is the year in Columbus that have had the most ticks on record. We made a lot of money that summer, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Heck yeah.
we're just taking care of a ton of neighbors. A few of them like been seeing like the ants, spiders, a few ticks. People like ticks.
Yeah, nobody wants to ticks.
Like,
It's like
yeah, dude, it was awesome.
that's how you
Just
get
did
what
like I
deer
remember
deer
I
ticks.
remember one of the guys. He's like, "No, I was here last year. I grinded and I got 250 sales, and I worked really hard." And he did that in 5 months, and he got 250 sales in his first month because he's just like, "Oh yeah, ticks." This
Yeah.
is awesome.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Lyme
that's
disease Lyme disease is mild in dogs, but it's no joke in people
Oh,
or
it's
some
no,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like debilitating. It's in some people. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
not fun.
Dude, I had
Yeah.
one friend. He really liked this girl, and he thought about marrying her. And then one day she told him, "Oh, I had Lyme disease," and he's like, "I'm out." I'm like, "Are you serious? Dude, what's wrong?" He's like, "No, dude, Lyme. I'm not messing with that. I'm out." I'm like, dude, you're wild, man.
That's funny.
What a guy.
I had a leech on me one time from a river. It was on my foot. That was weird. People use them down here as catfish bait. But yeah, I had one on my foot. That's the first and only time I've ever had a leech on me, but that was weird. Cause like I remember you guys remember Stand By Me?
I was just gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, where they come out and they're all covered in leeches, and dude looks down and reaches one out of his underwear. That was the scene that pops in most people's head, I think, when they're talking about leeches. And I had one on me, and I was freaked out about it. I was a kid. I don't remember how old, but thankfully the only one.
I had them on me as a kid too, but I don't think they were that common. But I'm not in streams anymore, really. So
Yeah, I don't hang out in the creeks.
yeah.
Do you guys, I'm sure where you're from, Shane, they probably have a lot of crawdads and stuff.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. There's a ton of crawdads in the rivers and creeks up here, and I thought I was some hot shiz growing up because all my cousins and friends, they would put like little hot dogs in the water and then they'd pull them up. I just put my pinky down there, they'd clamp onto my pinky and then pull them out of the water.
Oh really? Nice.
Yeah.
I used to love catching them as a kid too.
They're not strong like a sea crab or anything. They just like
right.
It hurts a little bit. But
I lived outside of New Orleans for about a year in a little town, Homa. I was about to say a little town called Homa, but what tripped me out was, first off, there's alligators everywhere, which was, we have alligators in South Carolina, but not up where I live. They're south of us, so we don't see them often. But they have so many there that they're dead on the side of the road, like deer are everywhere else, But there's this one time a year, and I don't know what causes it, but the crawdads will come out of the rivers and like move. And you'll be driving down roads and there's millions of them. Like nobody stops for them. They just drive through them, which is crazy. But literally millions of them. They cover the road for like a mile in this one spot in Houma, Louisiana. And literally, if you stop, people are like trying to fight you because you're holding them up and stuff. They're just used to it and they just drive through them. And to me, I was like, man, that's so cruel. To just drive. I get it. Like there's a million of them. It's going to take 20 minutes for them to all cross the road, but they didn't care. It was just strange. I'd never seen anything like that before. I felt like, man, that should have been on National Geographic Channel or something, Discovery. And I've never heard of this, but it was wild to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like it.
Yeah, we don't have crawdads here like that, but
I'm sure you guys can hear that machine in the background, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mower.
Yeah, they're just doing some work in the back. So, but I guess it's a good time to stop anyway.
Yeah.
We're almost at an hour and a half.
In. Yep. I'm gonna mute it and let you guys do the outro.
Okay. What do you have? What do you have coming up, Shane? What do you have going on?
Well, I have a couple of live shows that I got to get scheduled, so I don't have dates on them yet, but hopefully I'll have dates by the time we record next week. But just normal stuff on my channel, Soda City Flips. And I don't think I got anything big coming down the road, just my normal stuff, normal shenanigans. And follow me everywhere, Soda City Flips.
Yep. Same over here. Vintage Sport Flips on YouTube, Instagram. I have a Dibdick Cards, my first break on Dibdick Cards, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So head over there if you're interested in football cards. And my regular videos come out Saturday, 1 o'clock. So guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah, also, my name is Josh. I have a YouTube channel called Harry Tornado. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.